All right, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg, and I'm coming to you with my my review of Death Parade, episode 12, the finale suicide tour. And oh my god, this episode was so freaking sad. Oh my gosh, I really just did not know how to feel about this episode. So we see, like, for example, we see like Nona. She is walking, like they kind of recap what happened in last week's episode, and we see Nona like walking toward the elevator when Oculus comes out, and he tries to, I guess, snatch her memory, and she dodges him like the Matrix. Nona is pretty fucking dope, so she was able to dodge him. And Oculus was pretty much asking her, like, why are you doing this? Why would you give an arbiter human emotions? And pretty much telling her that what she's doing is futile, that there's no point in arbiters having emotions. And she was talking about having emotions is like as close as they will get to living, even though arbiters were never alive. And I could be wrong, but this is what I heard, and I didn't think until right now to look back at it. But they said that at one point they said that arbiters are so that can't be right, because arbiters have never been alive, so they wouldn't know. But just they had this whole conversation about why did she give Decium human emotions, like what was the point? And she said, what's the point of judging people if you can't understand how they feel? Like, humans can't judge humans, but giving arbiters emotions gives them a reason to judge. I mean, arbiters have to judge. That's what they were made for, because arbiters are just dummies, so they have to judge regardless. They can't not judge, because that's what they're made for. But they should be able at some point to understand, instead of giving really reasonless judgments. And that was why she created Decium the way that she did, so that way he would be able to feel, like actually be able to feel something. So this episode made me cry. It was bad. Like, it was actually pretty bad. So we see like Decium, he finally gets to judge Chiyuki, and he got her memories, and he took her down to the lowest floor, which no one is allowed to go there, because that's where all of the dummies are dumped after the person or people have been judged. So he took her down there, and when she woke up, it was like she was in her house. She was in her bed, and she fell out of her bed. She was freaking out, and Decium walked in. He was like, so you're finally awake? So Chiyuki was walking around, like, she looked at her little dolls that her mother made for her. So she made Chivo dolls, like Chivo, and I can't remember what his name is, the little boy in the book. She made those dolls for her when she was a little kid, because she loved that book so much. And she was like, they don't even look like them, but I've always cherished them because her mother made them for her. So we see her, like, she's walking around the house, and she's gradually like having memories, like them eating dinner together, and them like when she was a little kid, and her mom, well, she got her mom to read Chivo to her. So like she just kept remembering all these things. And she went outside. Well, she was standing in the house, and her mother came in, and Decium was like, we can't converse with live people in the land of the living, so they can't see us and we can't see them. Well, they can't see us, but we can see them, pretty much. So she was walking around, she made dinner, and Chiyuki was just upset. And then her mom put like a bowl of food at her shrine and was like, I know this was your favorite, but I've never been able to get out of making too much for you. And then she was like, she gave blessings to the shrine, and then she just started crying. She was like, I'm sorry for being such a bad mother, that I couldn't even understand what my daughter was going through. I couldn't understand what my own child was going through, and she was crying, and then Chiyuki started crying, and she was like, I'm sorry that I didn't cherish the life that you gave me, and she pretty much was regretting taking her own life. And Chiyuki, she was just bawling, and Dekium was watching this, and you could tell like he was starting to actually feel emotions. He was holding his chest, and Chiyuki, like, he gave her his remote and he told her that if she pushed the button, she would be able to go back to the land of the living in return for somebody else's life. So if she went back, somebody else would die in her place. And she looked like she was about to press the button because she just saw her mother crying, like bawling her eyes out. And Chiyuki just wanted to be able to see her mother again. She wanted to be able to apologize to her, but Dekium said that if she went back, everybody's memories of her dying would be erased, and her memories of Quindekium and him would be erased. She wouldn't be able to remember anything that happened within those 3 months. And she was just crying, and she was so sad and hurt, and she looked like she was about to press the button, but she couldn't. She said, I just can't do this. I can't sacrifice somebody else's life for my own. And she was like, she pretty much said that she has people that she loves and cherishes. So whoever, regardless of who it is, they have somebody that they love and cherish, and she can't take them away from that. So Chiyuki was woman enough to reject that offer, to be able to go back to her family, to be able to go back to the life that she had before she took her own life. And it was just so freaking sad. Oh my god, it hurt my heart so bad. And Dekium, honestly, like, he looked like he didn't know how to feel about that, and he was holding his chest. And then, like, as Chiyuki was crying and all of that good stuff, Dekium broke down and he cried. Like, he started crying, and then the room shattered, and she saw that they were actually at the bottom floor. And she saw all the dummies around her, and Dekium was like, so this is what sorrow feels like. I'm so sorry that I did this to you. This was pretty much a judgment. So she was never going to be able to go back. I mean, I had a feeling that wasn't possible, but she was never going to be able to go back. It was pretty much just a judgment. Well, it was his way of judging her to see what she would do. And she did the right thing. She didn't offer to take someone else's life in exchange for her own. And Dekium just cried, and his eyes became human for like a brief moment. As he was crying, he like had human emotions. His eyes were normal, and he was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And Chiyuki was like, it's okay, I know it's okay. And she like brushed his hair out of his face and hugged him, and Dekium just bawled. It was so sad. Like, I never thought that I would see the day that Dekium would show any type of emotion besides blank face. Like, it was so awesome but sad at the same time. Like, I teared up. It was pretty bad. So after that, they went back to Quindekium. Like, they went into the elevator, and Clavis took them up to Quindekium, and then they show Chiyuki in the elevator, and she was talking to Dekium, and he pretty much was like, thank you for everything that you showed me. And Chiyuki was just happy. Like, she just looked so happy, but she was crying. And she told Dekium that next time when people come in there, just do something about your straight face. Just give a smile. And Dekium did the most hilarious smile I have ever seen in my entire life. That is like, that'll probably be a meme all over the place after this episode is completely out. But that was so funny. So as the doors were closing and Chiyuki said bye, and Clavis and Dekium said bye, Dekium gave, like, he actually smiled. And Chiyuki, she was crying, but she was smiling. And then the doors closed, and we saw that she got reincarnated, which is awesome. And I'm so happy, but I'm so sad that Chiyuki's gonna be gone. So if there is another season, we'll never see Chiyuki again. But I want there to be more seasons because there is so much they could do with this show. The show is so freaking awesome. Oh my god, I want to see how things progress with Dekium. And then they showed like Clavis went to Genti's bar and Genti made a bottle of Mayu, like it had her like headpiece on it. I was like, yes, oh my god. I was like, that's so awesome. So even though Genti was being a butt to her, he actually really did like her, and she made an impact on him for him to make a bottle for her. And then they show Dekium when he is at his bar and he has his little smirk, and he made a doll of Chiyuki, which is awesome. Like, it was sitting in a chair next to the bar. So I was like, yay, Chiyuki will be there forever. And then like they showed the outro, and it was like they showed like the whole thing happening, like with at the very end when they always showed like Chiyuki's hands holding Chavo and the other little boy from Chavo, but this time it was like her dummy hands. So it was like all this time the ending of the intro was actually the ending of the show, which I thought was so freaking awesome. I was like, yes, that is wonderful but sad at the same time. I'm so hurt. The feels, my heart hurts. I can't. It's just 3 of my favorite shows ended at the same time. Actually 4, because there's Natsu no Taizai, Tokyo Ghoul, now Death Parade. I think Testament Sister New Devil ended. Just everything is leaving me. I don't know if I can review anymore, because every time I really like a show it ends and it hurts my heart so bad. But it's okay though, I suppose. But anyways, the show has been freaking amazing. I have loved watching this show from the beginning. It was probably one of the best shows that I've seen this season. Probably one of the best shows I've seen in a while. So yeah. I would love to hear how you guys felt about this show as a whole, about this episode. How do you feel about the way things turn out? Do you think there's a possibility that there might be another part to this show? But as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.